In this video we're going to have a look at rearranging equations, and this is a slightly more advanced version, and we're going to look at where the subject is in slightly different cases, such as it might be squared, it might be the denominator, or it might even appear twice. So in this first example, we've got that 5h squared equals k, and we're asked to rearrange it to make h the subject. So I'm going to start off by getting rid of the 5, and at the moment it's multiplying, so we're going to divide by 5. So we'll have 5h squared divided by 5 on the left, and k divided by 5 on the right. And of course the two 5's on the left, top and bottom, will cancel each other, so I'm given that h squared equals k over 5. Now this isn't enough yet to make h the subject, because it has to be just a single h rather than h squared. So simply just get rid of that by square rooting. And that's our final answer. Okay, secondly here, h is on the bottom this time, it's the denominator. Now what a lot of people like to do here is to think, right, I'll just get rid of the f by dividing by f, and then h will be by itself. But unfortunately, it's no use having h on the bottom of the fraction, it has to be on the top, and it doesn't just automatically move to the top because the f has gone. So the only way to get a denominator back up to the top is to multiply by it. So that's what we'll do. We're going to times the left by h, and also times the right by h as well. Whenever we multiply by a whole letter or a whole number, it comes onto the top of a fraction, as you can see here. So again, as in the previous example, the h's cancel, so now we're left with f equals mh. Now we're trying to get h to be the subject, as we said, so we need to get rid of this m that's just here, okay, and to do that we can divide by m. So divide by m on the right and on the left, m's cancel, so then we're left with f over m equals h. Now this is perfectly okay, it doesn't matter which side the subject is on, it doesn't have to be on the left, but if you prefer it to be on the left, you can rewrite it as therefore h equals f over m. Okay, this example is very similar. So again, we've got h on the bottom, we've got to multiply by h to make sure that it comes up to the top and therefore it can be a subject. So we've got g squared h still over h on the left hand side, and h times all of that on the right hand side. H here cancels top and bottom, and we've got to get this h by itself. And remember what this means when we've got a letter in front of some brackets. This means h times by all of this m minus n. So this is what we've got to get rid of, which is times, the invisible times sign in there. So to get rid of it, we could divide by that entire bracket. So that's what we'll do. So I've got g squared over m minus n, and that's going to equal what we had before over m minus n. Now again, you can see we've got this whole bracket cancelling with all of that on the bottom, and now you can see that we've got the h by itself. So we've done our job. As we did in the previous example, I'm just going to rewrite it with the subject on the left hand side. So it's g squared over m minus n. Okay, try remember about this bit here where we had the subject multiplied by a bracket. Remember that we could then divide by the bracket, which will enable it to cancel, because we're going to need that just in a second. Okay, so this one looks much nicer, just a single line, no fractions or anything like that, and we're asked to make h the subject again. The problem we might see though is that we haven't just got one h, we've actually got two. And we know that when we rearrange the formula, the subject can only appear once, okay, by itself, otherwise we haven't actually fully rearranged it. And the best way to get it to only appear once is to notice that as h appears in both of those terms, we can bring it out as a common factor. So h brackets e plus k, and that equals m. So now we've only got that subject appearing once, and it becomes very similar to what we just did. So we divide by e plus k, divide by e plus k cancels top and bottom, so we're left with therefore h equals m over e plus k. There we go. Okay, final example now. So we're going to try throw all of those things together. So we've got the subject B appearing as the denominator, but we've also got it up top. So it's appearing twice and we've got it as a denominator. So denominator is a bit that makes it tricky first of all. So we're going to begin by multiplying through, and then we're going to have a single line, which will be nicer to work with. So multiplying by all of that B minus 1. Okay, and then over here, I'm multiplying by B minus 1 as well. Okay, and I'm done there. So the B minus 1 cancels with the B minus 1. That makes that bit easier. However, we can't deal and start dividing by this B minus 1 straight away because A isn't the subject, it's B. So we're going to start by expanding now. So I'm going to have AB minus A equals 4 plus 5B. Okay, starting to look a little bit nice now. But we know from before we only need the subject to appear on the one time, not twice. So I'm going to collect any term that involves the letter B on my left hand side and anything that doesn't involve the letter B on the right hand side. So AB involves the B, but I've got this 5B on the other side which I'm going to move across. Okay, and the opposite of this plus 5B would be to take away 5B. And then the 4 can stay on the right, and of course that original minus A from here, the opposite of taking away A is to add A. Okay, so now everything involving B, my subject, is on the left, but I want it to only appear once. So remember from before, if I want it to only appear once, I can bring it out as a common factor, and it just factorises to A minus 5, and that equals 4 plus A. Then I know that I just want the B, I don't want this A minus 5, and at the moment there's an invisible time sign in there, so I'm just going to divide by the bracket to keep the B by itself. So B is 4 plus A over A minus 5. So I've simplified it slightly this time. Rather than writing this out over A minus 5, I'm getting used to know that that will cancel top and bottom, so I've just done it on the other side now. And that's it. I've got something with B, my subject, is only appearing once, and everything else is on the opposite side.